The sound of a fork scraping porcelain still echoes in my head. It was a small thing, a sound people forget in seconds. But that night, it sounded like the end of something. Dinner was quiet, too quiet. My wife wouldn't look at me. My daughter sat straight, her hands folded neatly beside her plate, the way her mother used to tell her to when she was 8. And then, without warning, my wife said it. "We've agreed you're no longer part of the family." The words didn't break me. They froze me. I didn't ask why. I just watched her lips move, carefully painted, as she explained what she didn't need to explain. "Don't come home anymore. Don't come to any gatherings." Her voice was steady, rehearsed. My daughter nodded, 18, barely an adult, yet already fluent in betrayal. I looked at both of them, at the table I'd built, the chairs I'd sanded, the house I'd paid for. "Thanks for confirming," I said. "I'll cancel all the auto payments." That was at 7:41 p.m. By 12:03 a.m., the first transfer stopped, and I began to collect their secrets. The next morning, I woke up in the guest room, not because they'd thrown me out, because I'd already left. I sat there, staring at my phone, scrolling through months of messages I hadn't noticed before. Subtle changes in tone, words that seemed ordinary at the time but weren't. There were signs, always signs. You just have to be willing to see them without emotion. Like the weekend business trips that suddenly became longer. Like my daughter's new way of calling me by my name instead of Dad. Like the silence that lingered every time I entered a room. I started piecing them together. Snippets of conversations, receipts, timestamps. A restaurant I'd never been to. A hotel I'd never booked. A phone number saved under a different name. It wasn't grief I felt, not even anger, just insult. The arrogance of people who believe they can build a life of lies and never get caught. My wife, the perfect host, the smiling manipulator. My daughter, the echo of her mother's deceit. Family dinners had turned into theater long before that night. I had just been too polite to leave my seat. I spent 3 weeks pretending to comply. "Sure," I'd said. "I understand, you both need space." They didn't know I'd rerouted all their shared accounts through my oversight. They didn't know the car tracker I installed last year, for safety, I'd said, was still active. They didn't know I'd hired a digital investigator 2 days after that dinner. Every night, I'd sit in my small rented apartment, lights dimmed, watching the live feed from the home security cameras I had quietly backed up before leaving. Her laughter came back first. Not for me, of course, for someone else. A man entered through the back door on a Thursday night, stayed till morning. My daughter was home, she didn't react, didn't even look surprised. The betrayal wasn't physical, it was coordinated, planned. She wasn't having an affair, she was merging lives, replacing me in real time. Still, I didn't confront, I didn't rage, I just collected. Phone logs, bank transfers, hotel charges, and finally, the birth certificate copy. The one that proved my daughter's middle name wasn't the one we'd chosen. The father's signature wasn't mine. The envelope came on a Tuesday morning. DNA verification. Expedited. Discreet. I didn't open it immediately. I made coffee first. Black. No sugar. The kind she used to hate. When I finally unfolded the paper, I didn't blink, I didn't gasp. I just read the numbers, the percentages, the certainty. 0.0. Not mine. That night, I asked them to meet at the old dining table. Same setup, same food, same silence. My wife spoke first. "You can't keep showing up here." I slid the envelope across the table. She didn't touch it, just stared. My daughter reached for it instead. Her hands trembled before she even saw what was inside. She looked at me, then at her mother. "Mom?" One word. That's all it took for the walls to fall. Tears came, not from guilt, but exposure. People like her only cry when the mask burns off. I stayed still, calm, detached. The kind of quiet you feel in a morgue. I didn't yell, didn't accuse, didn't even ask for reasons. I simply took out my phone, scrolled through my list, and started the transfers. Mortgage, closed. Utilities, canceled. Insurance, terminated. Each click was a quiet verdict. She tried to speak, her voice cracking between apologies and justifications that meant nothing. You can't just, "I already did," I said. Then I looked at my daughter. "I'm not angry with you," I said. "You're just the result of a bad decision." Her face broke before the tears came. My wife lunged forward, desperate, whispering things like, "We can fix this, and it doesn't change who you are." But it did. It changed everything. I left the envelope on the table, the house key beside it, and I walked out, not in rage, in control. Outside, the night was quiet, cold, the kind of quiet that comes when a storm finally dies. 3 weeks later, I got a message from her. A long, desperate text about bills, reputation, what will people say? I didn't reply. I just transferred one last payment, to myself. The account was clean now, so was I. I don't feel hatred anymore, just clarity. They wanted me gone. Now they have what they wanted. When you remove a man from a family, you remove the foundation. The house still stands, for a while. Then it starts to collapse, quietly, piece by piece. I'll let it. At 12:03 a.m., I deleted the last folder, the one labeled Home. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I'd lost anything. I felt free. Some families die long before anyone leaves the table. I just stayed long enough to bury mine.